Every single night, the largest animal migration on Earth happens here. Welcome to the Midwater. We're in the South Atlantic off the coast of Argentina, and we're here to study the animals in the midwater column of the ocean.
People think most commonly that the deep sea is equal to the deep sea floor, but the midwater is the deep water column that you must pass through to arrive at that deep sea floor.
One of the main things that we are out here to do is actually just take an inventory of the animals in the water and just count how many are there and characterize their diversity. Then we are going to go deeper than that, and we're going to ask what is inside of their guts in terms of the microbial life. We're going to be then going even deeper and saying, what are these microorganisms doing inside of the animal gut?
It's Earth's most voluminous habitat. It outstrips all of the living space in shallow oceans, fresh waters, and the land combined. So imagine you're an animal living out in this vast space. You need to strike a balance between avoiding being eaten or finding food for yourself. Because the deep sea is such a food-poor environment, it's often beneficial to make that journey to feed in more food-rich waters during the night. Some animals, they'd prefer to live in shallower waters, but when those waters are illuminated, it's just too dangerous. You might be eaten, and they need to find a different place to escape, and that's in the dark depths of the water column. Diel vertical migration, more commonly known as DVM, is a really unique process that happens in the oceans every day and every night. It's the periodic movement and the change in position of animals and their vertical position in the water column between day and night.
The fish and the other animals that we'll be studying come up to the surface, and they have a full belly, and they descend to the deep ocean at the end of the feeding, and they will then carry their gut contents down to the deep ocean, and then they will poop and pee, and that organic matter is now sequestered deeper in the water column where it can't exchange with the atmosphere anymore.
So a migrating animal, if it poops up at the surface, then that particle starts sinking much shallower. But if that animal swims into the deep ocean and then poops, then that's a really fast transport of that carbon down into the deep sea. These tiny microscopic processes actually affect global scale processes. They control our climate, they control the productivity of our coastal zones, they control the productivity of the open ocean.
The oceans are a big part of our planet's life support system, and one of the reasons that they serve that function is because they have microorganisms that are really providing so many services for us. They're giving us oxygen, they are moderating our climate, they are recycling our waste. So we tend to think of animals and microbes as being very distinct from each other. And in reality, they're deeply connected, and on this cruise we are uniting those two worlds.